What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today with a deck doctor video. So I've been reached out by a fellow Harpie player by the username of Baybikem, and they reached out to me a few days ago. I haven't been able to respond to anything because I've been so busy, and the comment was a two-part comment. It was, hi, I play in the OCG, and I would like to know if you could help me with my deck build. I'm struggling in locals, and they told me Harpies is slow, and besides Feather Storm, there's really not much I can really do. And I would like to see if you can help me with this deck. And I do build a deck that has a lot of extra links in it, and they basically gave me an entire deck list that they're playing with. And before I go into the grand scheme of things, I want to just first point out one thing. Every deck struggles in Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially in newer formats. And while I commend any Harpie player for wanting to play in locals, regionals, and stuff like that, and doing your best, the issue in hand is that we don't have a lot of support or utility cards that can really help us, especially not anything where we can splash multiple things into one. I mean, the most recent quote variant of Harpie that was doing, in quotes, well, was Primite. And even still, you hear it there. It had to be with Primite in order for it to have some stability. I remember, I praise Tri-Brigade variant of Harpie because it does take Harpie with an engine that is well known for working with winged bees and incorporating a lot of the, corresponding things. I did a deck profile that ran, what was that guy? Tempest, the Dragon Ruler of Storms, and implementing wind as a main factor. Like, it's a lot of factors that factor in, and unfortunately makes it hard as a Harpie player to have some type of consistency within in terms of the game, because there's so many different things that just unfortunately wither us down. Whether it's other players telling us, hey, your deck's just bad, or Konami not giving us support, even if on a mediocre level. A lot of Harpie players said, we don't want a competitive deck because at a point it's just going to be destroyed by the Forbidden Limited list. But we want something that can be viable, that even on a non-competitive level, that we're not the meta, we still have something functioning. So it does, personally experienced, it does become very difficult to try to build Harpie decks in current format because everyone's trying to find, what groundbreaking, board-breaking, omni-negate board can you produce. And sometimes some decks just can't produce omni-board negation. It's fine. But if you're playing on more of a casual and local scene, I think the obvious thing that you will eventually run into is meta, which sucks because that's just the unfortunate part of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that sometimes you're going to have to run into the meta. And I keep mentioning that word, but it's just, that just is how it is in a lot of card games, unfortunately. It's kind of stimulates to a lot of the things I said in previous videos, where it's very difficult to play in a lot of games because you have to build a deck and then worry about all the advances of things and learning how to deal with the other things. Because what is it right now that's extremely doing well? Melcharmy, K9, even with some of the restrictions from ban lists. There's I did say Yummy, Dragon Link, and just a couple other things as well, which Harpie doesn't have any good outs to a lot of those things. A lot of them have their groundbreaking boards, they have their big setups, and they just have more utilities than what we would have in terms of it. Now, I did take a look at this deck list that he gave me, and I did try to doctor it up as best as I could, which there are a lot of things to it. So let me read off what's in it. It is 3 copies of Harpie for the monsters in the main. So the main deck, we have monsters: 3 Harpie Channeler, 3 Perfumer, 3 Harpie Lady 1, 2 Harpist, 2 Fearsome Fire Blast, 1 Sisters, 1 Oracle, 1 Queen, 1 Avian, 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Ash, and 1 GeneX Ally Birdman. For the spells, 3 Egotist, 2 Sign, 2 Hunting Ground, 2 Feather Rest, 1 Duster, 1 Droplet, and 1 Winged Weapon. For the trap cards, 3 Storm, 3 Imperm, 2 Party, and 1 Trap Trick. For the extra deck, 2 Cyber Slash, 1 Bond of Floor, 1 Harpie Conductor, 1 Samort, the Bird of Sovereignty, 1 IP Masquerena. No, 1 1 IP Masquerena. I was supposed to see SP Little Knight. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Mech Knight, Evamax. 1 Ice Zero Fine, 1 number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk, 1 Zeus, 1 Harpie's Pet one Phantasmal Dragon. He wrote Mirage because OCG. 1 number 33, that's Ragnar Zero. 1 number 41, that's Bluesky. And 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. So that is the list. The list is actually still on the most recent Harpie deck profile that I posted. That's the one for September of this year. And so I did a lot of thinking, I did a lot of construction, I did a lot of just trying to figure out how I could mold this deck, and give just what I could. Now these are just suggestions. You don't have to follow this deck list, and I can even give you some more suggestions of cards you can even use as well. I wish I didn't put my box away, but actually I can actually reach my box, so that's actually a pretty good thing, because I can easily go into my box and give you suggestions there. So this is the deck list that I put together to try to many things. The first thing that I wanted to do is just I cut out a lot of cards and tried to move a lot of cards around to keep with the original build. But I also wanted to state that you need at the 40 minimum is fine. And I think a lot of things is that there feel like a lot of cards are rushing into. I also see there's a lot of trying to accelerate cards. You're also realizing that you're going to have to play on your own advances in order to get a lot of things. So this is what I built from the builds you gave me. So I'm running 3 Channeler, which is standard in the deck, as well as 3 Perfumer and 3 Harpie Lady 1. I know some people are running the vanilla so that they can run Primite Engine, but I think this deck just wants to stay pure Harpie Lady as possible, which is perfectly fine. Then I still kept the 2 Dragon, I still kept the 2 Harpies, I kept the 1 Harpie Lady Sisters and the 1 Harpie Oracle. So I cut Harpie Queen, because even though Queen was there to search for the 2 hunting grounds, I end up eventually just cutting her out. And this is just what the standard lineup of the 6 of the Harpie Ladies I want to stick with as the 15. You can keep the Queen if you want to search for her, but I honestly just wanted to try to mitigate as much room as possible. I did keep the Miss Valley Apex Avian, as of course you can summon this off of some work and it's a negation that can at least help you with things. The other thing is I added 2 Maxi and I added 2 Ash Blossom. I dropped an Ash and I dropped Birdman as well to add Maxi, because Maxi is still legal in the OCG if I'm not mistaken. It's at 2, so you still get that prominent draw power that you would like and a reaction from your opponent. Even if your opponent like tries to chain block it or negate its ability, you can always try to find other ways of things that you can do, because your deck should be able to compete with those things. And then there's always Ash Blossom, who's just a great choice. I know OCG has Melcharmy, which I'm going to highly suggest as well. I'll leave a lot of these suggestions in the comment section below too. Going in from there, that's pretty much just my monster lineup that I did. I only moved out 3 cards, which was the extra Ash Blossom, the G-Next Ally Birdman, and the Harpie Queen to fit the Maxis into this deck, because I did fix the Cells and Traps too. I added in the additional sign. We're going to go into the spells. 3 Hysteric Sign, adding in the additional sign, because you're going to need this utility card a lot more than what you think, especially when you're going to pop your own back row. I did keep the 3 Elegant Egotists, because of course this accelerates the special summonings of Harpie Lady and Harpie Lady Sisters. I dropped 1 Hunting Ground, because back row from your opponent, I mean, we're not even popping anything on our own back row, so I honestly thought just 1 Hunting Ground would be enough. You can still recycle this with Oracle, you can search this with Perfumer. so there isn't too many worries there. Duster for the massive back row when hunting ground isn't enough. And no one's running Starlight Road and stuff like that. The only real thing is just cards that can't be destroyed by card effect or things that are protecting those cards. Is the only real thing you'll have to worry about. I also dropped a Feather Rest because the draw power was extensive and I know it was needed, but at some point I just had to I cut out cards to cut in cards to put in cards. I also put in a Alluring Mirror Split just as an additional card we can pop. You don't have to put in an Alluring Mirror Split. You can probably just put in another standard card, like maybe Call by the Grave, since I know it's now going to be at 3. Call by is an option as well. And then I added an additional Forbidden Droplet just to have some fun with, so that you can utilize its ability of negation. There is Dark Ruler No More, which I think is also a good option. But this is a quick play, and I can send cards from your hand or field to the grave. So say you're holding on to a Hysteric sign, you can just send the sign from your hand or field with the Droplet, and then negate monster effects, and then at the end phase search. So yeah, that's the motivation for this change. Then for the change for the extra deck, for the traps, I'm still running the 3 Imperm. I'm still running the 3 Feather Storm. I dropped 1 party and I kept the trap trick just so that we can have the advances of cards in the deck. And we already are running a low trap pool, so I wanted to make it more flexible. Especially because if you're going to trap trick, 9 out of 10, you're either trap tricking the Feather Storm or trap tricking the Imperm. The only thing is that you have to banish a copy to set a copy, and then you're forced to just rely on that 1 trap for the rest of the turn because of trap trick. That's part of the reason why I don't run trap trick, because I don't want more restrictions on me than I already have. I was considering just dropping the trap trick and maybe putting in the Call by the Grave, just add some more defense. But like I said, it's a lot of suggestions of things that can be withered together. Then for the extra deck, I did keep the 2 Cyber Slashes, the 1 Conductor, of course the Samorg, which I'm so jealous of that you guys have it. I did drop Bond to Floor, and I know the thing was you were trying to special summon with the G-Next Ally Birdman. Great idea, especially because Bond to Floor is such a massive body with a massive negation. But she's once per turn. There's a lot of trying to get her onto the board, and you really heavily rely on either G-Next Ally Birdman or the Effect Veiler or the Tuner. Because there's no Big Eye, there's no Monster Reborn, and there's a lot of issues that I have. I love G-Next Ally Birdman, but it's just not G-Next Ally Birdman's time to shine. So that's why I ultimately just opt out the Bond to Floor and the G-Next Ally Birdman. I did, however, pick up Tri-Brigade for Jeep, the Burden Blossom. And I love Burden Blossom in these builds because she really helps get to, of course, the Spirit of Sovereignty. You know, you link into this, then you drop a Winged Beast from your hand, then you link into your Bird of Sovereignty. And it still keeps the plays going, because then she can draw you a card, and then you can switch that card out for another card in your hand. So it gives you so many combo pieces. The other combo piece that I did keep from the original deck list was also the IP Masquerena into the Nightmare Unicorn. Love that strategy. And I took out the Avamax, although Avamax is actually not bad. But I wanted to give the suggestion of the Access Code Talker as well. Being someone that finishes the game, finishes the boards, and can be really resourceful, I did want to put that in. But I do highly recommend the Avamax if you cannot get a Access Code Talker. Which, funny enough, because I think Access Code Talkers both in TCG or OCG should be easy to get. But if a preference is a thing, then you can still run the Avamax, who is a great wall. Defends itself. If it leaves, it bounces cards back into the deck. So the Phantasmal Dragon, nice. The Icy Zero Fine, nice. I also put in a Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon to help speed up the process of summoning other winged beasts. Which is a good idea and a good way of fluctuating things. Kept the Zeus in. I kept the Token Maker. I kept the Stall Out, and I kept the other Token Maker. Because I forget you guys you still have this as well. We in CCG don't, because other decks were abusing it like crazy. Maybe they just made it wind exclusive. It'll probably see some more use there. But then I just remembered some of the Kashtira monsters are wind too. So yeah. But this is ultimately what I built together in terms of things. And I do think that there are a lot of things in your deck that were consistent. But one of the biggest issues I say, even if you don't like my personal revamp of your deck, is dropping cards to 40 to keep things fluctuating, because I think that's also an issue of why maybe a lot of your deck didn't get a lot of its pieces. Anything that I would like to suggest to you for your deck is definitely things I'll leave in the comment section, but I do just want to point those out real quickly. I'm going to start off with the extra deck cards because they never really get too much love, but the Bond of Floor wasn't bad if you still want to keep up the synchro portion of it. The extra some work, a Winnie because you can take your opponent's Joel and Lockbirds and stuff, and then you can go into a lot of your Link 3s. There's also the Link 3 monster one. Oh, Celine, the Queen of Master Magicians, as well, if you want to run just the spellcaster stuff, setting up for Access Code Talker and them. There is Chidori, who I adore. I love me some Chidori, just for spot removal and set cards and stuff like that. I don't really have too many other like extra deck options, because a lot of it, like maybe Red Ice Flare Metal for the burn if need be, a stall out, Big Eye, of course. There is the Utopia packages that goes from Utopia to Utopia the Lightning. I even want to suggest throwing in Utopia Ray, just to have an additional monster there. Master Blades, Harmonizing Grandelia are some options there. You can also throw in the Sky Slayer, you know, just to combat your opponents if they start dropping Zeus. So this is just some options of things that I would play as well. Now I'll leave some links and stuff in. I'll leave like in the comment section as well of things too, because the extra some more can definitely be useful there. Then going into like spells and traps and other good things. I want to go into the spells first. I want to go into the monsters first, which I don't mind. If you want a Primite variant, you can always throw in Harpie Lady for the Primite version of the deck. There is your occasional 1800 Beastic and Cyber Harpie Lady if you want to swap out for the Harpie Lady ones, but I think the Harpie Lady ones are still perfectly fine. Queen and Dancer if you want the additional names and the additional targets for Hysteric Party. While I did see that you were dropping Queen to search for a second hunting ground to maybe pop multiple back row if you're dealing with a deck that has it, maybe side that in as a side-in option if you want to go heavy against your opponent when they start using heavy back row. Another option, of course, is Harpie Dancer to help you with popping that back row as well, just in case you don't get your Harpie's Feather Duster in time. The next option of things mostly is just that. Valor and them are perfectly fine as options as well. I don't have an issue with the G-Nex Ally Birdman of you adding it. But there's also, you know, Miss Valley Soldier as another target for a tuner if you wanted to drop in something gross. It'd probably be really difficult though, just because of the fact that, you know, you are doing the options. And I didn't mind the Valor. Valor are mostly something I side in as an option, but it is something that I will still recommend for you if you wanted to keep that Valor in as just a side option for hand traps. Because you guys still have the access to more hand traps than we do here in the TCG. So, okay, that is it for the those suggestions. Like I said, I'll leave a lot of these in the comment section below. This is going to be a very long upload, which is for people to understand. The other bit of suggestions that I can give to, I didn't mind the extra hunting ground or the extra feather rest, but note that, yeah, you're most likely not going to really need too much bulk on them. There was the Wing Requital, and I'm also suggesting Summon Storm as if you wanted to play more on the wind attribute and with more resources. These are good options still, but you need to run multiples of both of these to keep that going. The other card that I want to suggest is Divine Wind of the Mist Valley, which I know you guys have double of that too. Try to get a really big wind spam. Try to get a really big wind setup and take advantage of it. You also try Boris, the Sacred Lands of Samorg, and Samorg, Bird of Execution, I think, because he has a different name in OCG. There's also Swallow's Nest and Swallow's Cowray if you want to play around with those as well as options, just for keeping the Winged Beast thing. Oh, excuse me, theme. And where as trap cards go, I'll honestly say it. The only thing that I would suggest is maybe trying to bump up the trap trick if you need to. But I think everything else that you're most likely running in the deck is okay. And if you do want to run the extra party, that's fine as well. There is also Call by the Grave. There is Dark Ruler No More. I just don't know where my copies are right now. Of where they at, but those are some suggestions I can give to as well. And with that said, I'm gonna wrap up the video here because I have things to go do today. So if you do like this deck or the suggestions that I'm giving you, Baybikem, I hope you enjoy this video. And if anyone wants to also give Baybikem any other suggestions, you can leave those in the comment section below as well to help out with this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bells to be informed of when I upload more of my content. Socials are in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And HPJ signing out. Take care.